Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Feliz martes. Feliz terça-feira. All right, today, Tuesday, is squat day. I squat lightweight. I'm weak, whatever. So I talked about on Sunday changing technique a little bit. And so I followed through on that today. Even increased the ROM a slight bit by taking out the cushion, which I might put that back. My old hips kind of like having that little bit of dampening before I hit the box. But the heels worked fine. Lifts seemed fine. Did some ramping sets of 5, got up to 195. Again, it's light, it's pitifully light, but it's work. And then after that, I just did some kettlebell goblet squats. 2 holds, or not squats, but just like the squat stretches, again, or holds at the bottom, whatever you want to call them. 2 rounds with a 32 kilogram guy, and then the last one I did with 220s. Is what it is. Seems to do a nice job, again, of stretching out the hips. I came into this session with a bunch of pain in my lower back, right side, right above my hip, like SI joint kind of area. And then the flexor on the same side on the right side is a little grumpy too. And that is from doing intensity deadlifts. I think that pulled a 440 single yesterday. I think that one is just too much. And I don't work enough singles and display of strength stuff. And I don't know. I probably not taking long enough in between sets. So I need to rethink a couple things there in terms of deadlift programming and how I'm going to look at intensity today. It just might be smaller sets and higher weights, but not the heavy singles ramping up. Again, I'm not going to compete. There's no trap bar competition anyhow. So probably just need to throttle back on that so my hip stays happy and healthy and all that good stuff. Interesting analog for today, and then I'll get out of here. I'm having my fireplace remodeled. That's why I'm home a little earlier than normal. I've actually been home all day, but waited until the guys that were here doing some install work were done and before I got out to the garage. So I'm here now, did my workout, but one of the things that I discovered is when they did my fireplace, it doesn't have a typical chimney. It's just a chase on the outside of the house. It's a framed out, with basically stick construction, 2x4 construction and plywood sheeting on the outside of the house with the chimneys inside. And there's one chimney for the furnace and then there's one chimney for the fireplace. And so, the first guy comes to do the demo, pulls out the old fireplace and the hearth and some other stuff. And there's a massive draft coming through this thing. So I kind of covered it up with actually like an area rug, like the hole that was left behind until they came in and do the next stuff. So I've got this rug up and stuff. Today, the guys come out to do the gas part, the gas hookup. And they're like, hey man, this is like open. And I'm like, well, I thought it was just, a little bit open at the bottom. I go outside and I look up this chase and there's literally nothing but an open hole at the bottom. I mean, it's framed out like 2x4s with a stringer or 2 across for, a little bit of structure, but otherwise it's just open to the earth. And I'm like, what? And it made, and I'm going to think of how can I make an analogy of like that to like gym stuff. And it's kind of like this. So I do my own programming, and my program is dumb simple. But the one thing is that I try my best to execute it very well and try and do the best I can each session to, balance the scales, as it were, of, getting things done in a reasonable amount of time, getting enough weight on the bar, getting enough stimulus, trying to balance, how much fatigue I want to create. Again, I don't want to eat in a massive surplus to sustain training. I want training to, I want to retain muscle mass. I want to also, drive my metabolism, but I also don't want to gain weight. I'm trying to do this kind of hard thing, just trying to stay in the middle. But anyhow, the thing is that you gotta execute things really well and finish things off. I'm looking at this thing, I'm like, that's a simple thing to do. And literally the only thing they didn't do was throw a piece of sheeting at the bottom of this chase and maybe a little bit of insulation, which the chase wasn't insulated either, and now it is at least halfway up. And so for years, I'd had this draft coming through the fireplace on top of the fireplace, just being a heat vacuum of the house. And now I'm just sitting there thinking, how many dollars have been wasted because someone didn't put, $10 worth of plywood at the bottom of this chase? I don't know. But I know that, I've been in this house for 17 years paying gas and electric bills and feeling a draft coming out of this fireplace, finally getting around to fixing. I'm like, but this is something that I could have fixed a long time ago had I known it was a problem, but it should have been done right the first time. So there's the lesson, right? Do things right the first time and do them well. So when you're laying out programming and you're executing your programming, do it as best you can. Again, session to session, things are going to change. Have a plan that's adaptable, it's flexible. But man, if you're not executing and you're not doing things right, eventually someone's going to have to come back and fix something, right? Or you're wasting time, or you're wasting energy, or you're wasting money. So yeah, just do things right. All right, so with that being said, squats are done. I'm not doing anything else. Stretched out my hips, feeling pretty good. It's Veterans Day. Happy Veterans Day to anyone out there that's a veteran. Thanks for doing what you've done. And if you have the day off, hope you enjoy the day off, and I hope the week ahead is fantastic. Peace.